Northern Italy as a destination attracts more than 20 million tourists each year. With tens of thousands of them arriving by cruise ship, we have news today that Venice has banned cruise ships from entering the city. This has just been announced as cruise ships are being set to divert away from the existing routes, and under these new plans, Venetians have long criticized the presence of cruise ships in their historic lagoon city of Italy. So when is this ban taking place? Italy's Minister of Transportation reported to the Financial Times that cruise ships in Venice would gradually be moved away to different alternative routes. A third of cruise ships will be docked farther away from the city by next year in 2020. So they'll be docking in ports like Fusina and Labardina terminals, which are just 3 miles away across the lagoon onto Italy's mainland. So as to be decided by public consultation, there'll be a new destination where cruise ships can also dock, to be determined though. The chairman of CLIA, which is the Cruise Lines International Association, has gone on to say that CLIA cruise line members will welcome and support the urgent implementation of this solution to use Veterano Emanuele Canal as the best and most prudent means to move larger cruise ships away from Giudecca. Now, what does this mean for you? If you have a cruise that is headed to Venice, you'll want to double check with your cruise line and make sure that there hasn't been any schedule changes or alternative destinations that you might be going to. But if you are still headed to Venice, you'll port at one of those docks that are just 3 miles away, and then you can take a water taxi into the city. Now, there's so much to see and do throughout Venice, whether it's the shopping opportunities, the cultural and historic learning opportunities, riding a gondola, or indulging yourself in some wine tasting and food tours. But regardless, the locals of Venice have long battled for cruise ships to be banned, taking to the city streets and canals in protest of the enormous vessels, clogging the waterways, and providing a hazard. Now, the mayor of Venice had previously, back in June of this year, asked the UNESCO to put the city on a blacklist following a cruise ship crash that happened in June. Now, for those who are unaware, UNESCO was created to promote peace in the minds of men and women throughout international corporations through education, science, culture, and communication. Now, their role for a place like Venice is to say that it not only belongs to the community and the country, but the entire humanity. And when a city becomes a World Heritage Site, they focus on the sustainable development and sustainable tourism to preserve that area. So I was gonna say that there is some good news here, that there are so many other places that are incredibly unique for you to visit in the Med. These other cities that are still available for us to visit via cruise ships, like Barcelona and Rome, Athens, Alexandria. These cities all played an important role in history, and they too are full of rich history and culture, although Venice is not alone on fighting against cruise ships coming into town. Cities like Dubrovnik, Croatia have had protests, and CLIA has signed an agreement with the city of Dubrovnik for an understanding of responsible tourism management. The hope is then to establish Dubrovnik as a model and sustainable tourism site in the Adriatic region. Another example would be that the mayor of Barcelona last month pledged to restrict the number of cruise ships allowed to dock there in Barcelona, Spain, and the limiting number of cruise ships permitted would serve to reduce population in Barcelona and lower the visitors. So as these restrictions are going into place, you might see other cities as well in the works try to place some restrictions on protecting their cities and trying to engage in as much responsible tourism as possible. So that does it for the news today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comments below if you have ever visited Venice or any other cities in the Mediterranean on a cruise, or if you visited otherwise and you felt the amount of cruise ship passengers in some of these smaller cities. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. I'd love to hear from them. And if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and ciao for now.